All right, everybody, it's Wednesday. It's April Fool's Day. Okay. Let's check in. What are you noticing about your thinking? What have you found? So let's hear it. Just share, and if you've got one particular concept that pops in that's you've been thinking, oh yeah, I'd like to look at that, great. If not, that's okay too. Laura, how about if you start?
Okay. Hi, glad to be here. My name's Laura. I love to eat. Okay. The concept that has really been with me last couple days is that I can limit what I eat in love, not because of weight loss. So what I've noticed since the weekend, really noticed or accepted or whatever we want to call it, is that when I eat a lot of sugar, my brain doesn't work very well. And what I've really noticed that I haven't had for a long time, even in weight gain, I haven't had because I don't eat a lot of white sugar, is that I haven't had cravings. And in the last couple of weeks, I have had like overwhelming cravings. And so I've looked at them and wondered, are they mental, emotional, physical? And for me, they're all, but mostly right now they're physical. And that's something I can do something about. Well, I can do something about all of it, but I think I'm okay with saying that limiting my eating on sugar, not that I can never have it again, not that it's going to kill me or that I'm a bad person if I eat it. It says I'm not happy when I don't eat it. So that's loving towards myself. This is new.
Awesome. It's like finding out for yourself. Like, you know how Katie says, don't trust, like, don't listen to me, find out for yourself about your own thoughts. It's
Right.
the same. It's the same. I love that. It's beautiful. Somebody
Yeah,
else.
I told my husband the other day, I said, I'm not listening to that guy on that group or that person in that book. I am really paying attention to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks.
Beautiful. Thank you. All right, Teresa.
So what I'm finding today is I have to go to the grocery store, getting low on food for the family with all these extra bodies and mouths, and a little anxiety around that, and finding myself comparing myself to other people to make myself feel better. And so I just kind of sitting with that today, and just the thought of who I am is not good enough. Who I am is not good enough. So I have to be better than them to feel okay or feel good about myself. So that's an interesting, just interesting, just, oh, okay. So they're not going to the store, but you are. So that makes you good. Okay. So, oh, you ate less than them. So that makes you good. Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So just trying to
Mm.
catch those thoughts that when my shoulders are feeling like they're going to explode, oh, there's a thought happening. Okay.
Awesome.
What's going on?
Yes. Yes. Beautiful. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for it's good noticing good, bad, good, bad, good, bad. Got to find out, says the mind. Thank you. All right. Hello, Lori M. How are
Hi,
you? Hi.
I'm pretty good. So eating's been good for the last 24 hours. And I did listen to that YouTube video of yours that the Peace Talk episode 158. They rejected me with the thought.
Mm.
And then I listened to your YouTube thing on ambivalence that you'd recorded in January before this current Eating Peace session started.
Mhm.
And there were some really good questions in there. And so I kind of did my work on that a little bit this morning. But, and I guess on the ambivalence side of it, why would I not be really interested in, or what would I be worried about, balanced eating? And, as far as the fear about not being able to relax, that eating something relaxes me. And so that maybe
Mhm.
fear of not wanting to give that up. How would I relax myself? Well, recently I've learned other ways to relax. So that big, powerful thing about food and eating out of balance, as far as, gosh, this is the only way I can relax, is becoming a little less true, which is nice, because that's a big hurdle for me in terms of this whole balanced eating idea. But the other thing, on that peace talk, they rejected me. I think the other thing, she was talking about, she had gotten terrible reviews
Mm.
for her play,
Mhm.
and that, which she actually didn't read, but so a lack of good reviews really was the essence here, or silence, or no response, or no interest in your work equated for her, I don't exist.
Yeah.
And I think the thing that resonated with me with that is, um, uh, lack of an overwhelmingly positive response. So I think in your ambivalence video, you were saying, what was the question? Well, anyway, I think does my existence depend on recognition by others? Does my very existence depend on that? And as far as what am I worried about, and what is food for me, and if that's a big concern for me. Anyway, that I would like to do the work on. I have to leave early, but as far as I just I when I'm seeing a bird's nest outside and they're taking care of their soon to be coming young, and I just saw that biological connection, and I felt a real connection to my kids, and when they left, they call it the empty nest syndrome. And I have a connection with my husband, but does my existence depend so much on other people and their acceptance of me? And
Good one.
when Katie says, the only prayer I would have is, please save me from, seeking love, acceptance, and whatever that is. So this whole idea of connection and my existence and eating. So anyway, but I would like to do the work on that sometime. Not today, because I have to leave early. But
Beautiful. Yeah.
that's where I'm at. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Great, Lori. Like, good knocking around in there. Yeah. May, how about you?
Hey everyone. I'm really happy to be here. This is my second round in this program, and in a usual schedule, I work from 1 to 6. So trying to get on these meetings at 12 from my cell phone, driving in my car to work, like it's just not the same as slowing down and being here with you all. So really grateful for this. And in our last session, there were a couple things that Donnie said, and there was something that Teresa said, and I actually like put them on my wall, like just wrote down some things about awareness and about feeling different in 30 minutes from now, and just little reminders through my house. So like you've all really touched me, and you're here with me on this journey, and I really appreciate it. Grace, I also put something on my wall about what you said about duality and not enough and too much, and how it's never just right. So I'm just putting up reminders for myself. I'm doing some really deep work right now, stuff coming up about relating with a partner, broke up with him, then did my work, and I was like, oh God, no, I want him back. It was me the whole time. It was my beliefs. So like I'm dealing with really learning how to emotionally support myself and really noticing how much I want to go out and blame others for how I feel, make others responsible for my feelings. So this is just a huge blessing for me right now. And I'm looking forward to, at some point, questioning the belief I'm scared. I have rarely questioned beliefs about emotions I'm feeling, like I'm scared, or I feel alone, or I feel abandoned. I usually go in for different kinds of one-liners, not questioning the feeling. And at times there's been a voice inside that's like, well, that's unkind to question the feeling. Of course I feel this way. How could you? Like, so it's a little bit looser around that now. And I also wanted to thank Laura, because last time we were on this call and I saw you, you were questioning something about how you should have to have 3 meals a day. And I find that I'm going through some stuff with eating in my body where my body is not as hungry as it has been. And I can't know for sure why that is, but I do know that when I've been more emotionally disturbed, I've binge ate a lot, and I've like, I think my body's kind of coming back into balance and I don't need as much food. And I was scared, particularly projecting onto people in this program, that people would think that I was starving myself or in denial or something like that. And so that's also been extremely helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, sweet. Thank you. Sweet check-ins. Okay. Abby, how about you?
I was just playing around with the idea. I'm still struggling with some of seeing how other people are managing what's going on in the world on this island that I'm on, and how they're actually giving the general manager of the island pushback for instituting some recommendations for everyone staying safe. And I'm going, God, what is wrong with them? Like, how can they think this way? I don't understand how they can't be like proactively looking at the news and then doing everything they can, no matter how silly it might seem, but everything they can to stop this thing. And I was sitting here thinking, like, all right, so what does that mean? I mean, I'm wondering if I need people to be like me, which I find so surprising because I don't want to be like myself. Yet at the same time, I'm like, I need people to be like me to feel comfortable. And I went to, okay, so where else does that apply? And I can really find it in some other places where it's like, I want people to be like me so that I can feel like I'm okay. Like, I'm not out there. I'm not this some kind of a reject, or there's something wrong with me. And so I think that was kind of what was humming underneath my mind a little bit, was I need other people to be like me, and probably a number of areas in my life. Or I think I do, but yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Beautiful. All right, Donnie, how about you? There, unmuted.
Unmuted. Okay. Actually, I find myself much more peaceful around food. I'm not beating myself for eating this or that anymore. But what I'm looking at now is I still have this craving thing, like I see a picture of something that I want to eat now with the coffee or a piece of cake or something like that. And I'm pulled to it with a force that cannot be overcome. And I wonder, like, while being forced actually to go for it, there's no way I can stop, even though I am noticing all the steps, seeing the picture, feeling the craving, the want, going for it, taking it, eating it, da-da-dam, da-da-dam. Everything is in awareness now. It's not like
Mm.
I wake up after the fact,
Mm-hmm.
but still there is no stopping
Mm.
in the process.
Mm.
So I think there is some underlying stuff waiting there
Beautiful.
to be worked. Now I recall all the time, one of the things you tell is that when you went to the new house, you made a decision
Mm.
not to do what you did before in that new house, and then it stopped.
Yes. Exactly.
And it's a bit. On one hand, I don't believe in decisions. I believe that decisions take themselves. I cannot take a decision. It's only after the fact the mind says I took a decision.
Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, somewhere I believe that if I made this kind of decision like you made with the new house,
Mm-hmm.
this craving will stop.
Mm. Mm.
So the end of this short story is, or maybe long one, is that what I know is one day, I don't know when, maybe today, this decision will be made to stop eating compulsive eating, not for nurturing my body, just for relaxing feelings or issues.
Mm.
I know it will be made and then it's done. How to get to this point?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Doing the work, probably.
Mm. Well, I love, sometimes I like thinking of step one, willing. Willing.
Willing,
Willing
just
to
to be willing.
just to be willing.
Okay.
Just to be willing.
Yeah, I think you did a great job when you bring us from thinking we have a problem to peaceful eating.
Mm.
And that's a good start.
Yes.
So willing to just be there with the craving, without the craving, whatever it is.
Yes. And I love the definition of decide, the etymology of it. It's D. So I am taking out side, it is a choosing and killing off something. Something's done. I'm saying I'm not going that way. So something is cutting off two options. There is no longer an option. One option is over. And you can see what thoughts come about this needs to be forever, because how many times have us say like, and now from now on, and what I think a decision means is it's going to be absolutely forever. So maybe one experiment you see what's right for you is to see if one episode of a craving, just only the one that you're experiencing in that moment now, you see what happens if the idea comes with all this, watching and awareness to move away from one and go this way. So you can see that too. It's just a test. Or noticing what feels frightening if there's a no. Anyway, I love that closeness that you are to it. So thank you, Donnie.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful.
I'm amazed at your energies.
Thank you. All right, Velisa.
Hi. So my anxiety was just like a little high yesterday. I was having like a hard time just coming back into my body and my being. But then, you know, one of the reasons was my mother-in-law was coming over, and it just, with everything, it's just like hard having somebody additional in your space, and she's a very big presence. So it's kind of like in my head, just like judging her and like blaming her for like my anxiety or whatever. And I sat down and I wrote about it, and clearly it's not her. So that was very helpful. And then instead of coming at it from a point of like I don't want her here, it's more like, you know, how can I be with her? Like, you know, really, it's great. You know, I haven't seen anybody in like weeks, so it's awesome that she's here. She's also like, she was secluded at her house. So yeah, it's been enjoyable. And then, you know, this morning I was meditating and I'm like, okay, I feel the anxiety. What's like the worst case scenario? Okay, the worst case scenario in anything is like death. Am I afraid of dying? Not really. So it's kind of like, okay, so if that's the worst case scenario in like anything and I'm okay with it, then things are okay, you know? I know it's like an extreme one, but like it's like I don't want to die. But it's like if that's the worst case and we're all, I mean, we were talking about it, like that's the inevitable, right? No matter what. And we don't know when or where, then it just makes like my anxiety over like smaller things seem just, it just kind of puts everything into perspective.
Sweet. Yeah. Right. It's a great time for thinking about death and suffering.
Yeah, it's just like, it's like everywhere. And then I talk to like some friends that are, you know, just either they work in hospitals or whatever, and they're just like, you know, giving me a picture. And then so even just hearing, you know, stuff just kind of like adds to the anxiety with everything. That's why I stay away from news and social media right now.
Thank you.
That's all I got.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Maggie.
Okay, hi. So the thoughts came back again about not being enough, not safe to be seen, and that I don't have what it takes. But what Donnie was saying earlier is what I actually was experiencing, that that for me I experienced it like this lack of peace, like just this compulsion to eat and not even being conscious during it. Like, not that I just don't remember a feeling during it, you know? I don't remember one way or another. Just kind of eating, you know? And it felt like I went back to forgetting, you know, just kind of forgetting how to connect to myself. Like, yeah. So.
Yeah, thank you. Sometimes that's the forgetting it's the best the mind can do. Yeah. In the moment. So, you know. doesn't remember absolutely everything and it's forgetting in the moment. All right, D, if you're able to share.
Hi, I'm just gonna keep my video off because I just rolled out of bed.
Okay.
Um, so something that's come up for me is being separated from some of my family across the border, and I usually play a big role of support to my sister with caring for my niece and then caring for my mother who's had a stroke and she lives with my sister and my niece. And just this feeling of being unable to be of any service, any help, is starting to wear on me, especially when they call with telling me how hard things are for them. So that's one thing. But something positive yesterday with food is I wanted to have spaghetti. Like I had this idea, oh, it's been a long time I haven't had spaghetti. So I made it and I ate it. And then I watched my mind go, well, that was good, but now what? And, I was back in the kitchen and I was looking around and then I just caught myself and I was able to see that it's just the mind saying, now what? I'm not hungry. I don't need another speck of food. And it's just the mind having a thought. So now what? And so I just said out loud, so that's it for a while. We're going to wait now for a while, and it worked. So I was very impressed.
Sweet. Now what? This silence.
Yeah.
Right. Not food.
Not food.
Yeah. 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 Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for all the check-ins, everybody. There's something touching. All right. So just what I thought is that I want it or I need it or I want more, based, just from what Dee just said. But I want more. I want more. Yeah, May.
Oh, I'm just like, please, that's on my list of beliefs to question today. I want more.
Okay, thumbs up on that one. You vote yes. Yes. And just noticing it in a moment with food, of course, as we do. But you can notice if there's one other's, been lots of conversation or, noticings about other people. So if that comes in, what do you want more of when it comes to people or life? You could just hold one of that at the same time. I want more. Yeah, May, I want more from my boyfriend. Perfect. I want more. Yeah. I just chuckle because it, right, like sort of in the same framework is like, is that it? I notice this in life. Is that really? Is that it? I want more. So just finding your snapshot of a moment when you can hold that And even if you want to hold it with only food, but we're just going to notice too any other aspects that floats in around life. I want more. Okay. So, in your situation, is it true that you want more? And as always, sitting with that question a moment, like that mind that does think it wants more might say immediately, well, yes, of course. Da, 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 da. The love we have, is it absolutely true? Are you sure? And Donnie says, yes, I want more than what is. So simply noticing your answer. You absolutely know that that's true. You want more. Donnie, no, I'm not really in love with suffering. Your mind might go to, what do I mean? Who's the I that's talking? What is more? So what happens when you think it? I want more. I want more of this. More than this. What happens when you think that thought? How do you react? What images come to mind? What does more look like? What do those images show you? What does more feel like? In May, something seems wrong with life. I treat what's happened or what I've eaten as if it's not enough. And my boyfriend, the food, becomes very tempting. I don't appreciate what I've had. Not content with the self. Seeking. Sped up with mentally, my actions become more impulsive.
I had this statement. I need more approval.
Mm-hmm.
Just not one I care to admit, but I had this image of myself imagining that I was getting that approval when I believed the thought, and I had this image of me like as almost like a different person and feeling differently and whatever, maybe having so clearly I believe, or I react in a way where I think that if I get more approval, then I will feel differently in this life. which is interesting.
Love it. I get this thing and then I'll be over there.
Yeah. Which I guess sort of does happen along the lines of when you think about food or eating, there's that thought that if I eat that then it'll be okay. That craving will go away or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Donnie, the deficient self wants more love, food, control, and anything that is not what is. It feels desperate, anxious, fearful. Good point. The I that wants more, what is it? And I love that mentioning control. I want more control. Sometimes it's the aspect, I might not want more food, I want more resistance. You know, when we think about you need more willpower. And I want more. What's the onus on something outside of myself to give it to me? Yeah. Yeah, how do you treat reality when you think you want more of this thing?
It's like this reality is wrong. There's something wrong with it. It's not what it should be.
Very good to see. Donnie, life has done me wrong and it's payback time. Let's eat and eat more. You might notice that voice, which is really exactly what you're saying. Some of the comments. This can't be it. This can't be it. This isn't enough. This isn't enough. I want more. So who would you be without that story? And we'll look at that thing. Well, one more question. I kind of love this question. Maybe two more questions. Where does that thought hit you, and where is it? Even if it's outside your body, just notice where the energy is when you believe you want more.
The energy for me, when I'm thinking I want more, is there's not going to be enough.
Mm-hmm.
I was out for breakfast once, and they had this berry bar, and the sign on the berry bar is "Take what you want, but eat everything you take." And there were bowls and bowls of this and that and all kinds of berries and nuts and whipped cream and everything. And as I was going along this, and I took a scoop of this and a scoop of that and a scoop of this. And by the time I was done, it was a lot. So I'm sitting at the table and I'm a rule follower. Okay, I've taken this much. I'm supposed to eat this much, but my gosh, it was too much. And I didn't know if I could get a to-go box or what. I didn't want to throw it away. But so that thought, I want more, comes from it's not going to be enough. I'm going through this line. If I don't take it now, it's not going to be enough. So I'm going to take a little of this, a little of that, because it's not going to be enough. But man, it ends up being way too much.
Mm-hmm. I love that. That's sort of in the future, even in 10 minutes, there won't be enough, later there won't be enough. It's just good to notice, even in 2 minutes, the feeling of not enough and wanting to prevent that. I find interesting if you actually had to paint a picture of the energy, I usually find moreness is out in front. I mean, I want more. It's like a movement forward. It's hanging out, move that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, May.
Grace, I just love that you said that, because in my experience of doing the work, I've never had anyone ask me if I feel an energy outside of my body. I've only ever been directed to go inside to my body. And when you say that, I can see how the mind could perceive an energy pulling me forward. I don't know if that's real or if it's just my mind, but it's like I can see how that could be present, and I've never considered it before.
Yeah, I found it interesting. What is this? It's like sitting with that energy and seeing what's happening.
It's funny when you said that, I had an image of a steamroller, like just moving forward. That propelling forward. It could really feel it. It's like this pull when you want more. This pull of, yes, it's bringing you forward into the future, into the future, into the future.
It's like my mind sees the image when I'm looking at it about food. My mind sees the image of the food it wants to eat, and I could see how it's like that energy is like it's like when I believe in that energy, it pulls me towards the food. It's like I believe that I have to make that happen. And yeah, maybe it's similar to what Donnie was sharing earlier, where it's like there's something compelling you to the thing, even though you have the awareness. There's something that feels like that's the way. I'm gonna eat that thing. It's got to happen.
I like a picture of the dangling carrot, like with the horse. There's something, they move forward because they want to go get it. Moving. Just a basic survivor brain. And here's this, whoever said they love the question, what's the payoff? What's the payoff? And another way to even see that question is, what am I afraid would happen if I didn't have the thought? So what's the payoff for keeping it? What do you notice? Is there any benefit?
I went right back to actually a word that May used, was it puts the onus on something outside of me if I'm wanting more. So something else is going to fix me, while that's like that can cost me something. It's also giving me some sort of a payoff where I'm just waiting for something to fix me rather than I don't know, there's something, it's just, as I'm saying it, it doesn't feel right or healthy to me as I'm saying that. Obviously it's not healthy, but as I'm saying it, I'm like, how is that a payoff? But I think in some ways it keeps me stuck here so I don't experience the world, and somehow that's been a protective mechanism, I guess is where I've been.
And it keeps me in a cycle of seeking. It keeps me in discontent of feeling like there's something incomplete or not right. It's kind of that familiarity again. And then I make all the meaning about it.
Yeah. Okay. So just a good one to keep. I mean, hold on to it. We're going to keep moving, but I find it powerful to watch with that. What's the payoff? What do I get? What would I be scared of or not like if I didn't have this? You might have an image of disappointment. Like something's flattened. The energy is no longer moving and you don't like it. It's moving on without you. So, who would you be without this story? I want more. Bring yourself to one situation or just the two: food, food boyfriend, like me. Those, just holding it without the thought, I want more. If you weren't able to think that,
When I think about the food element of it, in eating, it becomes for me a biological movement, and that's it. So yeah, there's the mind sort of takes a step out of it without the thought, I want more. And there's okay, your body wants more, your body doesn't want more.
love that. Without the mind and the thought, I want more, body. What's the body need?
And mine's a little different. And I'm stuck. I need a little help. To do with my husband and connection. And just little things like saying something and having no response. That was my problem. And I am so ticked, and he's punished me for even asking him to respond. So I think this has been hard for me because I'm pretty attached to that. I think it's okay to want to have some response and interaction. But when you asked, what's the payoff? Well, that keeps me in my story of disconnection. I can see it big time. But then when I think about just accepting, what does that mean if I couldn't even have a thought of wanting connection? Even the little teeniest, meaningful acknowledgement of watching a TV show and saying something and having no response, like I wasn't even there. I don't know. I mean, who would I be without that thought, without that expectation, without that need? Do I then just remain alone and okay and see that I am perfectly fine on my own and I can get everything I need from myself? It doesn't feel very connected or very, I don't know. That's where I landed, and I just don't know what to do with that.
Well, I think this beautiful, Laura. It's like sometimes noticing that's where the mind travels, is all the way alone, completely alone. Like just there's kind of a hopeless or despair, like maybe even apathy. Like it's like that great question that comes up. Wow, what is this about doing the work? If we do use question 4, does that mean I let everything can happen and I can just lay on the floor and somebody can kick me while they walk by and I don't mind? It'll move that way. And now, okay to have even something alive here with yourself, which may happen here in the turnaround, but
Okay.
right there, present, connected with this person, but not needing something different. Anyway, yeah, it'll come in the turnarounds, I think.
Okay.
Watching. Thank you for sharing that. Okay.
So without the thought, I need more. Then I'm not stressing myself so much. A little example is when I was at a retreat and I was starving, it was breakfast, and they said, you know, this is a silent retreat, and I was taking the oatmeal and all this stuff, and I sat down and I was thinking about everybody that helped make the meal and where the food came from, and I started eating and I started getting full, and I still had half the meal left, and it became extremely stressful. What am I going to do with this? And it was so stressful. And when I think I'd like more friends, you know, asked that when they had too many friends, oh my God, I hope I don't meet another nice person because I just can't handle having another friend. So just feeling without the thought I need more, then I'm really not stressed out with what I have. When I get more than I can handle, it's stressful. It's just becomes too much. So I need more. It's like, oh my God, I don't need more. It's enough. It's enough right now. This is good. This is good. I can handle this.
Thanks, Lori. Yeah, May.
Yeah, now that Lori said that, I actually notice without the belief in that moment, I'm really stimulated and maybe needing some space, and like it's not out of blaming or making it personal towards my partner. It's just like, whoa, like that was a lot actually.
Yeah, it's great. So, Teresa, and I love that, May, peaceful, content, grateful, open, discerning, checking in with myself. And Teresa, I want more money. And if money equals security, the payoff for keeping it, if it keeps me at war with the present moment, keeps me from seeing I have enough money and security. Isn't that interesting? That some part of us would not want to see I have enough. No, I can't, it can't be that this is enough. No. Donnie, it's grace that life brings us again and again and again, the issues we can deal with to be free. I was looking for a stop sign. I feel you just gave it to me. I want more. Great. I want more. Great. May saying, Laura, I've struggled with the same. When he doesn't reply to a text, I found writing a whole worksheet on that moment. Just watching, you know, with the thought, I want more. I have to believe something's missing about this present moment. How do I treat it? So without the thought, how do you treat the moment? And even the thing or the craving or the something that's saying you want more, letting it be there because there it is, just without that thought. And let's go to the turnaround. Yes. May. Were you saying, oh, you were saying goodbye. Bye, Lisa. Yeah, got it. All right. And Donnie, isn't that interesting? With the thought, I actually get less. Without the thought, I get more.
I also see that without the thought, I get more awareness. And it reminds me of what Donnie said yesterday, that the story is limited, awareness is limitless.
Yeah.
It's like even if I don't get more of what I think I want, I'm getting like so much. If I can just take it in, if I'm not zoned in on that story of what I think I want more of, I get the whole world.
It's like the turnaround is, I already have more.
She reminded me what Katie is saying, that we don't fear death, we fear life because we fear to be limitless. And we choose to be limited each and every time.
Seems like it's easier to the mind. Yes.
Yeah, it's less frightening
Mm-hmm.
for the ego. Yeah.
Sometimes notice with this more feeling, like without the thought and just sitting in a turnaround and waiting, because it'll say, oh my God, you can't stop. Oh, it'll be kind of like what Laura was saying, like I'll just have to settle for this less than, or kind of have all those pictures, but as you let it settle down and just wait, is that true? Is that true? Just seeing how much you have, seeing this, I already have more. And that paradoxically, maybe the mind wanted less. Could it be that I already have what I thought was missing?
I'm sorry, are we still in number 4 or are we in a turnaround now?
Turnaround.
And which is it?
Well, I already have more, or I already have more. I want more. I want less. Like noticing I want, maybe the mind actually wants less. Oh, now that I think about it, never mind. Yeah.
Yeah, so what I'm noticing, the situation is my boyfriend came over and we had sex, and I'm thinking I want more emotional connection. Like, oh, we just had sex, but I want more connection. I want to like hang out. I want to do stuff that's not sex. I have lots of beliefs in there. And what I'm noticing is that in that moment, when I think about doing other things with him that aren't sex, I actually feel like unsure and kind of scared of doing those other things with him. I feel comfortable, good, and like I know what I'm doing when I have sex with him. Like that makes sense. But the other stuff actually scares me.
Mm.
There's lots of screwy beliefs there.
Yeah. Mm. And Donnie, to live out of, we have everything we need and don't need more of anything than this. So amazing to just let yourself see turnaround examples for it's enough, it's plenty, whatever that fits right here without the thing. I already have it, or it's plenty. This thing that I think is missing, it's not missing. Just to find actual examples.
I see something. In the moment that I'm having that belief, we aren't having sex, we're emotionally connected.
Right? Great. It's like, I love the turn. It's only in my thinking is something off. This can't be it. I want more. It's not right. Don't like it. Without a thought. And I can look at that person, if that's who if you have a person in mind, you know, that you want more from, and include them so that it's not like you're in a pod, like Laura was suggesting. It's like that, just watching it swing way out here. Oh, it's so far away. I'm going to have to live with distance and to feel disconnected, but kind of coming back and meeting the moment. Even there with that, there's the cake, just letting awareness see more. What else besides thought is here? Or thinking that has to do with future and past. How does your hand feel about the situation? Very sweet. Anyone want to add anything, or just share something briefly at the end? You can almost practice a living turnaround if it feels right, or just noticing through your day, is this enough? And I love that, Donnie. Reality is more than my mind can handle. Thinking mind is limited and reality is not. Yeah. It's like if you use reality, if you use the word God, universe, what is, what does that think of the situation? I love that, Donnie. We actually want less than what is. Yeah. I can so find that. I don't want all this infinite space and love and support. I let me just have the food. Yeah.
And I see how I'm like, let me just get it from the boyfriend. And there's so many stories about boyfriend and romance and man, woman, that it's like very tempting for me.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah.
It's like, who wants the open space of my apartment when there's a man here?
Yes, yes.
Set the poor boy free.
You're not the first man to tell me that.
Which is a turnaround. I love it you said that, because look at that. It wants more of me. It wants more of me. Could that thing, or that person, reality, food, yeah. If we were a little more like food just, goes here and there and lets it get fried in a frying pan or blended or, you know, whatever, crushed, merged with other things, consumed, and doesn't mind. Yeah, May.
Well, I also just wanted to thank Donnie, because what I notice is that when you said set the poor boy free, I have the belief that if I set him free, I can't be with him. So I appreciate you saying that. Helped me.
That's a great. I love you found that, because we'll think if we set food free, I won't get any ever.
I can only set myself free. And then I can set you free.
Mm. Yeah.
Nothing to do. It happens by itself. You don't need to work hard on this.
Yes.
Mm.
So beautiful. Right. Decision comes. There it is. Beautiful, everybody. Thank you. Thank you for your time and attention. It's just so precious.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Grace.